Always a delight, I gotta say that, and I never meant it more, to welcome Debbie Reynolds back to Australia. 3 years has been too long. It's much too long a wait to see her dazzle him on stage and off. She is the most personable lady I've ever met. Would you welcome one of show business's most vibrant stars, Debbie Reynolds, and nice person, too. Debbie Reynolds, here you go. Took a couple of stitches out of the thing, right? Nice. I would really like to work out what this love affair is that you have with Australia. They go just crazy when you come here.
I just think they're wonderful people. Everybody here is wonderful. They have great warmth and friendship and the most fabulous sense of humor. Everybody just got a funny bone. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's what I like, is if you don't have a sense of humor, I just don't think you can really be happy in life or enjoy it and share. They just seem to accept me as a nut.
Yeah. But are you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I was born April Fool's Day.
Is that,
so,
you're kidding. Is that right, really?
That's the truth. So
That's
I really
fantastic.
think that has something to do with it. When you're born on that day, and everybody's always teasing you, hey, look at a fool. all those dumb jokes, you hear all your life.
Yeah.
You just start doing it. Climbing flagpoles and all those basic nothings that you shouldn't do when you're young. And you get. I was always in the principal's office every day because I would always.
You too.
Were you always there?
I was there forever, and it was lucky because most times I wasn't even in school. You ought to get me into the principal's office was a big thing.
My mother was at school every day because they'd say, "Come down, your daughter has done something else wrong," and I was always sitting in the corner, and I don't know. The teachers just didn't understand me.
Well, you went to school in Texas.
Well, I went to school in Texas, but I was really raised in Burbank.
Oh, right.
Since I was a kid, Daddy moved from Texas when I was 7, so I mean, I really would say that I'm Californian now.
Listen, there's got to be a million people asking the question all the time. How do you look so good? I mean, are you into aerobics or all of that stuff, or do you work out or what?
I do. Aerobics wear me out, and you breathe so heavy,
Do you?
I don't like to work hard.
Might help you for after hours.
Well, I think all that jumping up and down is not really good for women because, everything, yeah.
Some women don't have enough to go around.
Well, really? Have you got that problem?
Not really, no. When I stop, there are parts still moving, but we won't even discuss that. That's not
No, I find that most of the gals I know, really, that running is very hard on them, and I don't think it's very good for your bosoms and all that. And after all, that's vive la différence between the men and the women. Why not try and keep them up?
Là, certainement. Yes. But aren't all the Hollywood people into that? Isn't Jane Fonda and all those people into aerobic classes and
Jane
dancing?
Fonda's got legs 9 feet long, and it's not hard for her. I'm 5'1½". What's hard is to keep the little roly people skinny. She kicks her leg and it comes over my head. It's like you. Look at you. My low oh, my stars in heaven. 6'3". It's not hard for tall people. It's not as hard. It's harder for short people to stay really trim. But I do. I hate calisthenics, but that's what I do. Exercise it but just for specific parts. I don't want to waste my time working on my knees because they don't need any work. The knees are skinny anyway. You have to work on your arms and your stomach. Women have to work on that stuff. Well, men could if they want to. They can come over anytime. Work.
That's a nice invite, I think. That's lovely. What about you? You were having trouble giving up smoking at one time. Have you given it up?
No, I've tried and I just haven't been
Do
successful.
people give you advice on how to quit? Does everybody give you advice?
Well, they just tell me that I'm going to die.
Is that Well, if that isn't incentive enough, what is it?
I know, isn't that terrible? I'm very strong at everything, and I find that smoking is definitely it's like a drug, I think, I find it very hard to quit. And I haven't been able to do that, no. And I pray about it. I do all that. I went to Schick or Schlick or all those centers.
Is that where they shock you with things?
Well, they shock you and you smoke 8,000 cigarettes and you throw up. I mean, of course you don't smoke for a day. I mean, you threw up.
How do they do it? Every time you take a puff, do they
Well,
give
they
you a
make
shock?
you smoke. Well, you just smoke forever. You just sit there and smoke and smoke and smoke. See, when I hugged you, I split my skirt, but it's all right. The legs are good, so it was
Oh,
okay.
perfect. You've been doing, see? The exercise has paid off for the legs.
Well,
huh?
the legs never went anywhere. They stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to. Everything else moved. I don't know. I looked in the mirror one day and everything had moved someplace else. I've lost control. But that's why I do calisthenics. Do you do workouts?
Yeah, well, I play tennis 3 times a week, and then when I'm not playing tennis, I have to run. But the jogging is awful because everybody talks about the benefits of jogging, but I find it's the most boring thing in the whole world. It's jogging, nothing to look at except your feet.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not for that. I prefer dancing. Well, in my show, I dance a lot, so I get a lot of exercise that way.
Dancers always have really good streamlined bodies.
Well, you have a lot of muscle, from dancing.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was studying to be a gym teacher when I was young. So I've kept my figure through the years by working out, in a way, through dance. Because that's fun. When you dance, you have the music going, time passes faster, and you hold yourself together that way.
One of the things that you're most famous for are your impressions. And we had a thing we were going to do, which got very confused because I thought it was you. You have a new impression that you've added to your act, which is not really a person.
That's right, darling, but I can do all kinds of people.
Sure, yeah, that's right. Yes.
You can do different voices, but this time I couldn't find a new star to do because all the ladies today are not that identifiable, other than Dolly Parton, whom I do in the show.
Oh.
So
You
I
do Dolly
decided
Parton?
I do Dolly Parton. Here I come again. She has bigger, but I...
Notes.
A big, yes,
Yes.
greater range.
Yes.
I just added a lot of stuff everywhere, and Dolly, that works out because she's so funny. Anyway, she's really funny. I think she's a really interesting lady, so she's fun to do. But then I couldn't find anybody else new to add, so I decided on the most new glamorous lady, and that's Miss Piggy. So I'm going to do Miss Piggy.
Do you do her in the show,
Yeah.
Miss Piggy?
Uh-huh.
How does she? Can you talk like her for a minute, or do you need this gear on?
Well, you have to put on all your hair and your ears.
Yeah.
I just don't feel comfortable without my ears as Miss Piggy. It's a whole face and the hair and the thing and all the padding and
Oh,
everything.
I'd love to
like
see
that.
it. It'd be terrific.
Well, come on, I'll give you a free ticket. You can
I don't
see
need
the
a free
show.
ticket. I'll come and pay the price to see you.
gonna
It's
come?
wonderful.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's fantastic.
We're going to be at the Art Center, the new.
Oh, well, I got a whole list of places where you're going to be, and I'll
Be
tell them all
everywhere.
about it, It'll
All
really
right.
be good.
Well, I'm happy to come. We're going to do a number for you, too, tonight.
Yes, you and your 4 blokes
I have
and all
4
that.
boys, yeah. We're going to do a
Speaking of boys, we always hear about Carrie, your daughter, because of the Star Wars thing. Star Wars is, of course, probably one of the most talked about films around the world. But what about, you have a son, Todd?
I have Todd. He's my son, Todd.
And how old is he? What does he do?
T-O-D-D. He's studying now ministry. So I'll have an actress and I'll have a minister. So I can go to church and I can go to the theater and it's all free.
Yeah. That's lovely.
He's a terrific boy and he's just, he's very interested in the work, in Christ's work, and so he's very into the church. And also he does records, how he likes to do sound, produce records. But he's doing that mostly now for the church, for religious programs and all that. He's very into that. So we'll see. We don't know what direction. He's only 24, and I don't think you're really quite settled in at that age. Although I had 2 babies. I was settled in. I was sitting on eggs, right?
Yeah, right. You're going to be doing a number after this break. Now, this is a song. This is a number with the 4 boys from your show, from your Vegas show.
This is from the show. It's a 40s, but I don't do it alone. I want you to meet my boys.
Sure.
Boys, come out here and meet Don, because they haven't said hello.
These your 4 boys.
Yeah.
Hey. All right.
Okay, I want you to say hello.
Hold on, I'll tell you.
This is Steve Lane. This is Steve Lane. He's
Steve
very
Lane.
handsome,
Don
young
Lane.
man.
Nice to meet
This
you.
is Kirby Ward. He's a cute little thing. He's
Hello,
crazy.
Kirby.
He's
How are you?
crazy. This is Tom Anthony, my tall fellow. He's
Hello,
your
Tom.
size.
How are you?
This is Shelby Graham.
Very nice to meet you.
So we're going to go. You want to do the dance? We'll do the
come
dance.
on, let's
It's
go.
a 40s minutes about
Come on,
count bass.
40s minutes, yes, and then you'll do
It's
it
the
for
whole
us?
number.
Yeah, and you'll do the whole number for us, will you? Well, all right, well,